What's going on, guys? This is Mars Brigade 99 coming to you once again with another session of Dark Souls PvP. Alright guys, this is just a very brief video, nothing really in particular to talk about. I'm just going to give you guys a quick channel update. Now, for a lot of you guys that have been with me for a long time, you guys would know that for a long time Saturdays were my upload days. But, you know, within recent weeks, I haven't really been doing anything on Saturdays. And the main reason is because, you know, out of all of my videos, seeing that my channel is primarily about commentaries, you know, I think I have like 200, upwards of 230 videos up to this point. The vast majority of those videos, I would say about 95% of them are commentaries. And within all of those commentaries, I think I have, for the most part, discussed everything that I could possibly talk about with regard to Dark Souls PvP. Right? So up to this point, there's really nothing else for me to talk about. Right? So it's not like I'm no longer interested or anything like that. It's just the fact that, you know, sitting back and reviewing all of my content, I think I've covered every subject, every topic, you know, whether controversial or not. And at this point, I really just didn't have anything else to talk about, right? So that's kind of why you've been seeing a lot of inactivity. So, plans for the future. Basically, I'm not saying that I'm going to stop altogether with my Dark Souls uploads, but they're just, you know, they're just going to come every now and again. Now, obviously, every now and then we'll be doing, actually, that's not really obvious, but, you know, as you guys would probably know, we will do these community events every now and then, for which I will make announcements so that we can get maximum participation for the most part. I don't know, Spike and I are going to come up with another community event sometime soon. But other than that, you know, there's just really not that much more for me to talk about with regard to Dark Souls PvP. Now, Dark Souls 2 will be here in, what is this, December, look, about 4 months now. And we have another network test coming up. Now, what I'm going to do with regard to the next network test that's scheduled for this weekend, if everything goes according to plan, I will participate in it. And I will record it. I'll actually upload it. But unlike 95% of my videos, I'm not going to add any commentary. Right? If you guys just want to see some of the action, you know, I might just give you guys an introduction for maybe 5 minutes or so. But I'm not really going to talk about anything. Because, you know, one thing that I realized is that, at least in the United States, with the first round of the network tests only being open to a few people, there were a large body of individuals who had never even played the network test. You know, the only thing they could do is watch videos and listen to other opinions. But many of them never even played the network test. Right? Another thing I realized is that there are a lot of people who focus more so on PvE, and I guess they took my my first impressions video to heart, right? But a PvE perspective and a PvP perspective is totally different. The way I analyze things, number one, is going to be relative to participating in PvP. It's also going to be relative to how I personally play the game. Right? So, you know, for example, you know, one thing I was talking about is kind of like the animations and the loose controls. And the funny thing about it is, you know, shout out to Peeve, shout out to everyone else. A lot of people who never even experienced the network test, you know, they would make comments like, well, you know, some other guy said that, you know, if you improve agility, then that will correct for those things. Well, what a lot of people fail to realize is that there's a difference between improving controls and increasing speed. Right? And I spend far too much time in that comment section trying to get people to understand that. You know, people will say, well, your first impressions is trash. And first off, I don't know how my first impression can be anything. Now, you might disagree with it, but my first impression is my first impression. Case in point, let's say you go on a blind date, and let's just say it was horrible. You decide to give it another chance, and let's just say the second date is a lot better. Okay, your first impression is still your first impression, right? And the degree to which the second or third dates are better has no bearing at all on what your first impression was, right? Another thing, like I said before, a lot of people who never even laid their paws or even experienced the network test personally came up with all these comments about, well, you can't really say anything about the clunkiness or the loose controls because Peeve said that increasing agility will, will correct those things. Well, first off, everyone has different opinions, right? And, if you just really want to get technical on the thing, when you read the description of agility, what it says is that it increases the speed of certain actions. But increasing speed doesn't mean that you get better control. It doesn't mean that. And it was particularly funny when I got comments from people who never even played, never laid their paws on it, hadn't experienced it, yet they have all these opinions basically based upon another person's opinion. So it was basically one opinion and trying to make arguments against another opinion, which you can't really argue against an opinion by supporting it with other opinions, right? You can only make arguments based upon facts. But to make a long story short, seeing that I went through that whole thing, like I said before, what I will do for all of those who are interested, I will upload the footage, but I'm just going to reserve my comments. I'm going to reserve anything that I have to say until a lot of you people get to experience things on your own, right? Because opinions to me hold more weight if a person has personal experience. If you don't have personal experience, your opinions mean nothing to me. As a matter of fact, it's almost like, one of these preachers in the church who's trying to tell you how you can be delivered from being an alcoholic, yet they have no idea what it feels like to be an addict. They have no clue. Yet they're telling you that all you need to do is be disciplined and all you need to do is try and you can be delivered from all these things. But, if you have no experience, if you can't relate to my plight, your opinion almost holds no weight. So it's kind of the same thing with that. So in order to remove myself from that type of situation, I'll just wait until there's a lot more people who've experienced the game, and I'm just going to upload the footage for you guys to see in the event that you want to. Now, one thing that I will do, I've kind of checked out the numbers, and I've noticed that around 26 in agility, that's the first point. Going from 26 to 27, that's the first point to where you have zero gains. So I sat there, I watched videos, I calculated the numbers. So what I'm going to do is in the next video, I'm going to take my agility to 26 and I'm going to stop there. Now, like I said before, what do I anticipate? I anticipate, as the description reads, I anticipate for certain actions to increase in speed or to increase in swiftness. I don't necessarily anticipate the clunky or slow moving controls to be more tightly calibrated. But in the event that I do feel that way, like I said before, I'm just going to go ahead and reserve my opinions. You guys can see everything for yourself and we'll go from there. So with regard to the channel, I do plan on recording and uploading the next series of network tests, if everything goes well. I just purchased a new PVR because based upon the information that I have on the PS4, it only has HDMI outlets. right? And I had the original Hodgepodge HD PVR, so I went on ahead and upgraded. And with the release of the PS4 and a few games that I'm interested in, I'm going to do a few videos on those. So I will do, like I said before, Dark Souls videos every now and again, but for the most part I'm going to focus some of my energies on some of the newer games on the PS4. So I hope you guys are interested, specifically in Killzone Shadowfall, because I plan on doing a lot of that. I've always been a Killzone fan. In the event that you guys may not know, I've always been a Killzone fan ever since. Well, actually, I can't even say always. I'll just say ever since the release of Killzone 2. So I'm really interested in checking out the Shadowfall. In addition to any other game that may come out that may spark my interest up until the release of Dark Souls 2. So that'll be it, guys. I really appreciate everyone who has supported the channel up to this point. For every new subscriber that you may think to yourself like, holy camole, dude, I just subscribed and now you're saying that you're gonna, slow down the pace of your Dark Souls uploads. Well, like I said before, guys, I've been doing this for about 18 months. I have over 230 something videos. If you guys are only familiar with my more recent videos, please keep in mind, just take the time and go through the library. I've put together several playlists. I have montages. I can almost guarantee that I've touched upon nearly every single subject that involves Dark Souls PvP. And as with everything, some things I'm pretty sure you'll agree with, other things you may have your reservations, which are fine. But the point of my channel have always been to spark thought, all right? Promote a little thought, not just, take things as I put them out, but just give a little food for thought. That's what dialogue is all about. That's what commentaries are all about. At least that's what they should be about. If they're not promoting thought, if they're not kind of stimulating, you kind of second guessing things, then that means I'm not doing something correct, right? So, in the event that you guys may be kind of wondering what's going on, don't worry, because I have tons of videos. You guys can go ahead and check out the library. So thanks a lot, and until next time, Martyrs Brigade is